Hi, gorgeous Leo family. I am beyond excited to talk January 2019 with you. I'm so curious. My heart is so open for this conversation. Obviously, this is my family. And anytime I sit down with a Leo energy, I'm home. Have to look in the mirror a little bit when I do these readings with you because, of course, here we are together talking about our shared energy. I did your head readings, so if you're interested in that, you can check that out on Vimeo. I will leave the Vimeo link, and then you can just scroll through, find Leo, and you'll be set to go. It's all about the major aspects and how those are informing and shaping the year and giving us those power plays. And also, we do some card pulling. It's a nice little 30 minutes where we just sit together and we feel through 2019. A year of true magic, a year of true empowerment and movement and intensity. There is an intensity to 2019. It has a very different leading edge energy than 2018, which is a little bit more rounded, a little bit slower, a little bit more like let's pull back and look at this. Let's pull back and look at this. 2019 is a little bit more like we're going to go. I want to do a little toast to you guys first though. A happy New Year's toast, a toast to 2019, to January. Leos, I love you. I love us. Thank you for your gorgeous hearts, your ability to give and care and show up with your full glowing energy to those you love. It is the most beautiful thing to be around Leo energy when it's in that mode. Thank you for being hilarious and funny and entertaining and so loving. So loving for your loyalty and your bravery and your courage and all the healing we have done together and all the exploring. Thank you guys for being my family. I love you so much and happy January. I'm not surprised I'm like tearing up for this reading because opening into January 2019 is just looking back over the last 3 or 4 years. Leos have had some huge core essential lessons that have been pretty relentless in their delivery. And I've talked to a few Leos recently, just kind of looking back over those years and how it was really this like deep training session. It was going very deep into learning how to love ourselves and show up as leaders we want to be, right? And January, what was the note that I have for you guys today? There's so much, the thing that's beautiful about January, there's a lot happening around Leos. It's beautiful. You can feel that forward motion. You can feel, I'm getting goosebumps as I was talking about it. That's there. It's all around Leos. It's really not about looking back over the last number of years and being like, oh, what was that? No, it's like the energy quality is very different. I'm going to start shuffling because it's all about moving forward. Opportunities coming in, phone calls coming in, plans being made. There's this forward motion wheel energy, but the first thing that came to mind when I thought about Leo energy was like, oh, that type of energy is going to be a lot to take in after all this integration time. So eat this meal one bite at a time. Don't try and take it all on this month because it's going to be really tempting to just use all your battery power. It made me think about professional ballet dancers. That's the first card out. Queen of Cups, very interesting. Queen of Cups takes her time, right? She slows down enough to kind of listen into her body, listen into what's going on emotionally before she makes a whole bunch of movements. So already I'm, as much as you're going to want to get into your Fire Queen mode, the Queen of Cups is where you're going to want to check in consistently. I can already tell you that. But yeah, professional ballet dancers, they are in class and rehearsal all day, like 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then, they have shows at night. 6 days a week or something. And they have to reserve their energy enough to do that performance that night, right? That's where they have to peak. So while they might want to go all out in class or all out in a specific rehearsal, they can't do that because then they won't be there to fully perform for those performances. And I'm sure some of you are dancers out there know exactly what I'm talking about. 5 of Cups. Okay, this is interesting. We'll talk about it. Because there is an emotional underpinning to all this growth forward. There is. When we grow forward, when we grow into new territory, when we start to really step into what our inner beings have been calling us forward into, there is a moment of grief. I talked about that a little bit on Instagram in December, but we'll talk about it. Okay. So yeah, you want to just pace yourself. You know, it's okay if you're feeling a little overwhelmed by how much good energy is coming in, because it's a lot. It's a lot when you suddenly have people want to date you, and people want to make travel plans with you, and opportunities are around. Ooh, Queen of Wands and the Chariot came out. Yes. All right. See, there's some good stuff going on. It's just a lot to take in, and I think sometimes it can be a little bit like going away to camp. Like, can I handle this camp? Am I going to have to, it's just a lot to deal with. They're starting a new job and a new atmosphere. 4 of Cups. See, there's a lot of these cards that are like, okay, but pull back, check in. Pull back and check in. Just, it's okay. So it's a lot about finding some balance between the intense externalizing energy going on and just checking in with your heart and soul, Leos. You want to take care of that, and you want to take your time with that. So you've got both going on. It's Capricorn season till the 20th. 6 of Cups. Ooh, okay. Man, there's so many cups in this reading, you guys. It's very water-based, which I find really interesting. It's Capricorn season for most of this month, right? And we have a ton of energy in Capricorn, which is 6th house energy for Leos. It's about checking in with your physical body. And your physical body gives you a lot of information, right? It's a very useful tool in feeling out what situations, what works for us, what's pinging at us, and what's working for us. So, whoa, card just fell. 8 of Pentacles, getting some things done. Yes, absolutely. And then, of course, there's a kind of big event that goes on for Leos. Ooh, 2 of Swords and 10 of Pentacles. Yep. I'm going to pull one more card. I can't help it. So we have all this energy in Capricorn. We have the Sun and Saturn conjunct. We have a new moon in Capricorn. We have Mercury in Capricorn. We have Uranus going direct in Aries. Mars is going into Aries the very first day of the year. But when we hit Aquarius season, first of all, we're hitting into mirror season, what I call mirror season for those of you who have been watching me. When the sun is in our opposite sign, it is a time to reflect back at ourselves. And it is a time where the world becomes much more reflective, and we really have to look at things. So right away, the last 10 days of this month, 11 days of this month, you are going to be going through some mirror energy. Not only that, there is one final big Leo full moon lunar eclipse occurring on the 21st. It is the last little check-in from the Leo North Node transit, which did end in 2018. There's just one last Leo lunar eclipse. And it is a ceremonial closeout of the last couple of years. And there is a moment where you have to sit with that Leo you have been, that Leo where you have given, where you have tried to keep. 7 of Wands showed up. Where you have tried to do everything for everybody, where you have tried to be everything for everybody. There is a moment with this full moon and this lunar eclipse where you just look at that and you say, okay, there's where I've been, here's where I'm going. It's a very big doorway for Leos and our hearts. And it is kind of deeply emotional. I would highly recommend taking it easy on that day, if you can. If you can, take some time for yourself. And then, of course, Aquarius season comes with all of its lessons and beautiful. So there's a lot going on here, Leos. I pulled a ton of cards. I pulled 10 cards, and they are complex. It's really, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on because there's this building forward that's going on. And it's a really strong theme of very empowered, bold, new territory. There's that sub theme underneath though. And I think, Leos, it's really important to, once you get into performer mode and you get into go, go, go mode, that's great. But there's that temptation to kind of just be like, yeah, but I've done that. I've done all that emotional healing, so I don't want to have to go back there. I don't want to have to check in with that. But there's something telling me that it's important that we do that work this month. Queen of Cups, Five of Cups, right? This is extremely emotional, deep energy. And the thing that's interesting about it is, a lot of times people look at the Five of Cups and they immediately see just grief and misery and mourning. And there is that element. But the thing that's really important about the Five of Cups energy is it is a doorway card. That figure is in between this phase of the spilled cups and the phase of the full cups and the bridge. It is a pivotal point of energy, which is very real in its own space. 5 is a number of growth and change. And it's this moment where you are about to turn toward these giant new doors. And you're going there. You already know they're there, and you already know what it looks like, and you already know you're into it. And you just take that pause and you say, yeah, there's where I've been. And you may just be finding the catalytic energy of Uranus going direct in Aries, of Saturn kind of working with the sun this month, of that new moon and then the full moon in Leo. These are catalyst energies. They're pushing us forward. And this is kind of that moment, when you watch like a really intense romantic movie and two of the characters just know they can't ever be together and they say goodbye and they just know. And there's that last look. And then there's that brave choice to say, but I'm choosing my path. That's what the Five of Cups is like. It is very intense. It asks you to go somewhere profound and nuanced and dualistic in the sense that you understand that is a loss. Like who you've been, who you've loved, what that's looked like. It is over there, gone. And that embracing that and saying, yep, that's true, brings you to this newness. And it comes through the queenly beauty of Queen of Cups, who understands that sitting here, embracing that moment of feeling through, there's no loss of power or forward momentum. There's none of that. There's just that grace, of giving your heart that time and that moment and that sweetness and that softness. So that's important. And you may just notice that that's coming up because on the other side of this initial discussion, look what we have. The other side of the Leo journey this month, which is very empowered and very focused, driven, on fire, sassy, playful, creative, focused. I think I said focused already. Chariot is about commitment energy, right? It's about balance and self-mastery, absolutely. Stepping into that charioteer position and being the master and commander. These are definitely leadership empowered roles of owning your space, owning your power, owning your value. Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. There is no doubt about that. These are also really forward action-based energies, right? This is about moving on stuff. It's not about sitting still whatsoever. Even though I often give Queen of Wands she's the timing queen because she hunts like a cat. She is the Leo queen. She hunts like a cat. Cats, sit very still for a long time and listen and move very quickly when it's the right time. They don't use their energy. They're sprinters, right? So one thing to keep in mind is that busy work doesn't get you very far, right? Like you can keep yourself busy all month, just going, but you may not feel that you're really getting anything out of it when you're doing it that way. You are going to have very specific moments where things come in and it happens and it works. And those are when you're sprinting. And that is going to be just as powerful and more powerful than you going and going all month. So that's one thing I want you to kind of keep in mind. Now, yes, this could be about committing to a relationship as well. Somebody coming in and treating you as though you are a queen. This can be about committing to a work project or some kind of project that gives you that honor and that gives you that forward momentum that feels really good to you. This is very positive energy. And like I said, it's just kind of a funny pairing with that deep emotional intensity we were just talking about. It kind of continues, you guys. It kind of continues on the next 4 cards. It kind of goes back and forth. It's a really interesting month, and I think this is the thing that I'm getting. This was kind of what the message was too. Don't think you're going to do this all in January. You're not going to get every single answer in January. You're not supposed to, because once again, you are supposed to be eating this meal one bite at a time. You will get certain answers. You will get the information you need, but you are not going to have it all sorted as much as you want to, right? Because okay, one thing about January, we are not in Venus retrograde. We are not in Mercury retrograde. In fact, nothing is really retrograde in January. And it was all about these fresh starts. But we do have this really symbolic Leo full moon. And we do have some very symbolic transits that are going on as far as where things are placed and how they're pushing us forward now. We're getting introduced to this new energetic cycle, and it's very different. So one thing that's happening in January is we are touching in. So like I said with these where we're touching in, 4 of Cups and 6 of Cups is some troublesome territory, I'll be honest. This can be energy coming back to you from another era in your life. And it can be literal, like you can get a phone call or an opportunity from one of these past things over the last few years. You could. It could also just be you having really vivid dreams about people from your past, or just having those really vivid recall moments where something that happened a long time ago suddenly feels like you're living it again. This is very, the 4 of Cups is about integration. It is a slowdown. It's feeling like you aren't quite at that next phase and you want to be, but you're being held here for some reason. And it's here with the 6 of Cups, which is all about nostalgia and the past love. It's about past love. Yeah. And, looking at what we've idealized and looking at what has worked. Now, here's the thing. There's a theme coming up in January for a lot of signs that I don't believe in the world testing us, but I do believe that sometimes as experiential beings, we want to find out what would happen if that opportunity came and knocked on our door again. You may notice that you get that. You get that moment where that thing, that person, that opportunity comes and says, hey, and you have that choice to say, no, I've moved on. Now that's nuanced energy once again, and it's kind of heavy. But here's the thing, you have stuff to get done. That emotional landscape of kind of looking over your shoulder is there. And I think there's just, when you're getting pushed to be something new, it's tempting to go back to the familiar, even if it wasn't fulfilling. And I think it's just a very natural thing as you grow and you expand into something really fulfilling for you to kind of think about where you've been and almost long for it like home, But look, you got stuff to do. 8 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles. This is about building. This is about doing your work in the world. This is about sharing that Leo heart and making things happen. I mean, yeah, this is great for money. This is great for building things. This is great for getting projects off the ground, getting community going, getting those voices heard. The wheels are turning here. This is like what it's going to look like. People outside of you, not knowing all these layers going on, are going to be looking at you and saying, wow, this person's really doing it. And you will be really doing it. I mean, I don't want to understate the fact that this is going to be a busy month. Full of experiences and connections and conversations and opportunities and projects and ideas like flowing through you like nobody's business. You're going to feel very prolific. And like I said, you're going to have this desire to marathon it. However, pace yourself. What you're building toward is a big legacy here. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, right? 10 of Pentacles always denotes a long-term cycle coming up, and a good one. One that you build brick by brick. So you're starting to get a taste of it. You don't have to become the whole package in January. You don't have to become the whole package even in February. But you are starting to engage with this energy. And as you're engaging with this energy, it's flushing out that old stuff more and more and more. And that is where these last two cards come in. They're kind of complicated. It's kind of complicated energy. I was hoping for an outcome card that would give me like a nice encapsulation here. But this is kind of the energy qualities that will be working with you, I'll be honest. Seven of Wands is kind of awesome because it is about getting to the top of your game. You're on the top of that hill. You're no longer down here with the rabble rousers. You are on the top of that hill leading the way. And it is kind of being in that spotlight and feeling a little bit like you're using that externalized energy. You're growing. But you also have this Two of Swords energy, which is holding you back a little bit, not giving you the full picture yet, not making you take it all on yet. And you may feel like you're blind and you are disarmed. And you want to be in charge and you're ready and like, just bring me the answers. I don't want to have to be looking over. I don't want to have to mourn. I don't want to have to stop here in this doorway and say, oh, okay, that's closing. I've got to go into this doorway. Believe me, you'll have enough information this month to work with. You'll have enough on your plate. You don't want any more on your plate. If you had more on your plate, it would just be super overwhelming. I'm telling you right now. So Two of Swords, it's a protective energy. It slows you down enough to let you relax. Relax when you can. Have fun when you can. Don't take it too seriously. Okay, I can't help it. I have to pull one more card. I can't help it. This is a doorway month, though. It is. For Leos specifically, Queen of Swords. Like, you got this. You got 3 queens this reading. Oh my gosh. You are the queen, right? Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords. Communication, healthy boundaries, saying what you need and being very specific about it. With all this energy swirling around you and all of it kind of wanting to come in and you sorting out what you want to take with you on this 10 of Pentacles journey, be very clear about what you expect from people if they want to be in your life. It's possible people can show up who you're not sure about. If you're clear and you're communicating very clearly what you need, you'll get your answers. You'll get your information. You'll get everything you need to know, but you have to listen into your body and into your gut and make sure you follow what that tells you, right? I have an affirmation for the Leo clan for January, and I think it's a really important one to keep in mind. I am exactly where I need to be in each moment. I pay attention to the little signals all around me. All the information I need is here now. That is key this month. You will get the information you can use and utilize in its right time. Don't try and outpace yourself. It won't feel good. It won't feel good. You're going to have moments of sadness. You're going to have moments of check-in. You're going to have moments of nostalgia, deja vu. It's okay. Let them come in. Guest House by Rumi. Great poem about letting those states come in and go out. Treat them as a guest. They're not going to stay there because you have stuff to do, because you're going to be busy. But you need to kind of make space for each of these aspects of yourself because Leos, they both exist. And it's okay that they both exist. It doesn't take away from the fact that you're going to be very successful and extremely magnetic this month. Magnetism comes with its own form of trouble. If you're magnetic and you're shining like that, lots of energy wants to come and congregate. And then your job as a queen or a king, as a leader for yourself, is to parse through who can come along on that journey. Who can be a part of your 10 of Pentacles world? Who can be a part of this world? Who do you want? And what do you want with you on this journey? Because I guarantee you don't want to take the spilled cups with you. You know that. You already know that. You already have all that information. There's nothing I don't think there's anything particularly shocking about this month. You won't suddenly have a shock to your system. Oh my God, I can't believe that's what's happening. I didn't expect that. It's not like that. It's much more like, here's a whole bunch of opportunities, and oh, here's a little knock from the past. What are you going to do with it? And it's you getting to use that greater wisdom that you have collected over the last few years to put it into action and be very easy in just knowing that you're making those right choices for yourself. So it's about practicing this new magnanimous energy that you have mastered. And there is a nuance to it. There is a softness to it. It's kind of understated in the end because it's not about the big drama. It's just about this quiet, like, no, I'm good. And there's an energy there with that. You're kind of doing your thing, and people are attracted to you and curious about you, but it's because you're just doing the work. You're not being ostentatious about it. And there's something going on there that's really magical. And as that builds over the next couple of months, it's going to get more and more powerful. And you're going to see how January informs like March and April. It's kind of wild. It's a kind of a wild connection. We'll get there though. Right now, just focus on you. I love you guys so much. You can follow me on Instagram at the Sarah Tarot. I would love to see you guys over there. We have so much fun. My website is SARAHTAROT.com. I do private sessions. I will leave the link below so that you can go check that out. All the information for how to book with me is right there for you. I will also leave my email and the year aheads in the description box. All of it will be there. The whole list of beautiful things. I will see you guys in February. I love you, my Leo family. Have a beautiful beginning to the new year.